Howdy, Possum Patty here, and it is late February. It is almost 50 degrees. The snow behind me is melting. A little bit of a breeze coming up now, but I am just walking up and down the dirt road looking for little stones to bring Flat Stanley, the troll, and the fairies. Come on along. The first thing I do when I come back into the house after my rock hounding is go right to the kitchen sink and give those stones a good scrub so I can see what they really look like. And once they're clean, I use my ROCK Identifier app on my phone to help me figure out what they are. And little Miss Titi is always so happy when I come back inside the house. She doesn't like me to leave, no. But as you can see here, the rocks are taking over the table. They're all under the camera and they've overflowed over to the side here. And the troll is keeping watch over some larger stones here that I found at the quarry. But I'm going to talk about them at another time. I did find some new special rocks that I can't wait to put into my learning journal. If you are a new Possum Peep, welcome, welcome, welcome. And if you are a longtime awesome Possum Peep, you are quite familiar with my learning journal all about rocks because you know I am passionate about my rocks. And I am just learning little tiny bits about the stones that I find out here on the dirt road and making some really fun journaling pages. Now you could do this with anything that you are passionate about. So I encourage you to start a learning journal, whether it's plants or birds, it doesn't matter, anything at all. I've started adding some friendship rocks into the journal and a few rocks that I found in different places, not just out on the dirt road in front of the house. This was a fluorescent rock that I bought on Temu. That was a lot of fun. This is my rock of the year, blue calcite. Oh, I don't believe I shared this page with you all. And here's the story. I found these two stones out on the road, and this one had such a pretty pink with gray and black sparkly bits. And this one of the sides was just sparkly green. And I just loved the combination of the light pink and the green together. And I had them sitting over there by my little whiteboard. And I had this little saying, this was just a cut apart from some scrapbook pack. Always believe something wonderful is about to happen. And believe was my word of the year. And I had these rocks sitting next to the card, and I was like, I think those rocks really match this card perfectly with the little bits of green and light pink. And I just love this combination of these two rocks and this cut apart. I decided after it sat there for a little while that I was just going to go ahead and put that combination into my journal. And this paper in the background came from something very special. Now this is something I got at the flea market, and it is a book, but it is a book of gift wraps by artists. And this is English Floral Patterns, 18th Century Designs by William Kilburn. And I believe he was an artist, a fabric artist. You know, he designed fabric patterns. Yes. Floral watercolor patterns for textiles. and his collection is in the Victoria and Albert Museum in London. So the book actually has gift wrap in the patterns that he designed. And when I found this at the flea market, I just thought this was amazing. And I picked it up right away. And I've only used it a few times, but I am going to definitely keep using it until it is all used up, right? I took a piece of that and used it as the background. I added a little bit of lace trim across the top. I put the cutter part there, but for some reason I wasn't in the mood of something totally square, and I kind of ripped it a little bit, give it a little bit of a jaggedy edge. And then I took a piece of blue textured paper and a piece of blue paper, and these scraps came from that Dollar Tree scrap paper pack I hauled not that long ago, and did a little bit of journaling. Now this one is what they call granitic gneiss, G-N-E-I-S-S, which means it was granite at one time, but through heat and pressure, it's foliated. You can see that it started to put everything into these stripes. Foliated means just everything starts lining up and you get these stripy patterns. Oh, here's a perfect one. Look at this one. So this is a foliated rock. And you see all the minerals have lined up together to create these patterns. And that's just from heat and pressure. So that's what happened to this granite. It just started, the heat and pressure just started lining everything up. Yeah, so these are my two favorite stones that have been on the desk for quite a while. And then I put their picture on the back. Oh, another piece of scrap paper from that Dollar Tree pack, that brown sparkly paper. So just a photo of these two and what they are and what's inside of them, and the day that I did this, which was February 12th, and I just popped that in the pocket. Oh, there was one thing I liked about this paper. These little blue flowers here reminded me of forget-me-nots, which is my flower for this year, and all the blue. So I'm going to be putting these away into my organizers. Now you might remember the other day when I was out in the living room organizing my fossils in the coffee table. I also have a rock collection over there in a cabinet. Oh, let me show that to you. Tucked away in the corner over here with Kermit the Frog keeping guard is my Cabinet of Curiosities. And I have been working on cleaning off the shelves and giving this a bit of a tidy up and trying to organize it a little bit. And as you can see, they're all nature found objects. And the first shelf does have a lot of skulls, but some of these are not real. They're just used for nature journaling workshops. But there are some real skulls and bones and a great big pine cone in the back there, a piece of a turtle shell. And down on the second shelf is a bit of my rock collection with some dried up twisty vines in the background there, and some more rocks and nature items, some coral and a starfish and a pufferfish, and there's a bird's nest over there and some dried leaves. And we have more shells down here. And then we have some more rocks. Oh, there's my box of friendship rocks. And there's more stuff in the drawer at the bottom. And right now, the corner is full of things getting organized over there. Boxes of rocks and baskets of rocks and cabinets of rocks. And I have all these organizer boxes for my rocks also. And this was at the beginning of my Dirt Road Diary. I was collecting these little cards about the different kinds of rocks that I found. Now I have to go through these because I have multiple samples of the same thing, and I found some completely different kind of rocks. So I have to take out some of the multiples to make room for some different things that I found. There is a lot of green rocks in here. There is a lot. I really don't need that many in this box. Look at how pretty that one is. It's actually got green stripes. Look at this. It's like half gray and half green. Yeah, so I can look at my rocks all day. Oh, you've got to see this one. Look at the green lines in this stone. Isn't that amazing? It's sort of like a light gray and dark gray speckled stone, and it has these green rings, and the green rings are actually quite sparkly that go all the way around. Yeah, so I need to do a lot of organizing, like I said, and take some of these out of here and make room for some of these new rocks that I have on my table. So this isn't the only box. This is actually one of 3, I think, that I have just for this learning journal. Like I said, but I do need to organize it better so I can fit some of these stones in there. Now you might be wondering about this page. And you know, the other day I mentioned in one of my videos that I had glued some backgrounds down, and this was one of them. I found this old little bit of a watercolor that I was just kind of practicing some snow on trees. And I cut it down and I put it in here because when I ran this stone through my rock identifier, it said it was a blizzard stone. And I was like, oh, that's perfect. You know, I found this the day before we had that snowstorm. And I kept saying, oh, we're going to have a blizzard. But we didn't get the wind, but they called it a nor'easter. So the day before the nor'easter snowstorm, I found this rock. And when I put it in the identifier, it called it a blizzard rock. So I thought I would put a picture of it on this page with a little bit of journaling. But to me, this doesn't look like a blizzard. Not yet. I want to sprinkle some more white paint on here. But I'm not going to do that right now. Because if I did it, I would have to let it dry. So I'm going to do it later and go ahead and work on the next spread. And this is going to be about my happy face rock. Now, when you spray a rock with water, it really brings out the colors. And when I sprayed this rock, a happy face appeared. And there's 2 eyes and a nose and a mouth. I know I showed my happy rock the other day, but now I'm putting it in my journal. So let me show you my rock identifier app that I have on my phone. And it's just a little picture of a rock, and you click on it, it opens to the home page. And to identify the rock, you click on the little camera icon like that. You focus on the most colorful side of the stone. And you see that little yellow box there. Take a picture of it. It scans it. It tells you what it is. Granite, a type of igneous rock. That little speaker icon will give you the pronunciation.
Granite. Granite.
It tells you the colors it comes in. It gives you images of different kinds of granite, more examples of granite. It gives you a collection label, so I can add this to my collection. But if I want to go back to the information page, I just click on Info. Gives you maps, different places you can find granite. Oops. People often ask questions, and you can read that if you want to. Description, how to identify it, textures, physical properties, chemical properties, all kinds of information about how it's used, where it's found. I'm going to go back to the description for a moment. So I was reading the description, and it says that granite is a rock that even non-geologists are usually familiar with, coming in a variety of colors and often exhibiting beautiful speckling or patterns. Granite is sometimes polished and used decoratively for countertops, tiles, stone buildings, monuments, and more. And then this very last sentence, many famous natural structures, such as Yosemite's half dome, are also made of granite. And I went like, whoa. I went to Yosemite back in 1970, right? And I'm like, oh, let me go see if I can find the pictures of Half Dome and use that as a background in my journal. I had to go way to the back of the closet for this one. So look at this journal. Isn't this like totally retro? Look at the mustard and the green and the pink. Oh my goodness. And I opened it up, and there on the very first page was Half Dome. It says Yosemite, California, 1970, and there's Half Dome. Well, I was like, oh, can I take this out? Can I take it out? You know, these old albums with the sticky pages are terrible. Once you put in a picture, sometimes you can't get it out. And I was like, I could try, but maybe I'll work on it later, try to lift it up off of there, but I don't want to ruin it. So what I did was I took a few pictures of that and some of these other ones and the whole page, and I said, let me see if I can use that instead. So I printed out a large copy of the whole page. So this is how I learn. I learn by making connections. I'm always making connections, and that's what this journal is about. And sometimes they're just really fun. Sometimes they might be scientific, and it looks like they're mostly really fun, aren't they? Little bit of scientific information in there here and there, but yeah, making connections. So I'm going to connect this rock, this granite rock, to Half Dome. This is Half Dome down here, a giant granite outcrop with a roundy top, right? I don't know what happened to the other half of it. Do you? Anyway, yeah, so this is going to be my connection to granite, to a place I've been to see the biggest granite outcrop, right? Half Dome rock. And I'm going to put that little blurb about Half Dome on this side. But this is also my happy face rock. So it needs a happy page too. So I took a picture of it. You can see the little face there. And I'm going to make a happy page on this side. Now I went through the bag of goodies that my sisters gave me, and in there was this card with all funny happy faces, and I was like, perfect. This is so perfect. But it needs a fun background. So I went through my box of random scrapbook papers that I got at the flea market. How is that for a super fun page, right? Love it, love it. So I'm going to use this for the background. I'm going to put this card in there. And I'm going to put the happy face here. I'd love to draw a picture of this. And maybe put it here. And I'm not sure what I'm going to put over there yet. So let's get to work on these journal pages. Okay, I'm going to trim this down. and see how it's going to fit on that page. See if it needs any more of a background. All right, let's see how this will fit on the page. It almost covers the whole page. Oh, you know what? What if I glue it down like this? And all I have to do is like put a strip of washi tape on this side. Yes. Sometimes the easiest is the best. The easiest is the bestest. So I have not been to Yosemite since 1970. And at that time, my ex was stationed in California in the Air Force. We took a little trip. And we were camping in a tent. Yes, we were camping in a tent. And we arrived there kind of late at night. We set up the tent. Now this is back when, you know, camping was camping. We carried a 50-gallon container of water with us and, you know, everything we needed to make a fire or cook or, you know, those kinds of things. And we pulled in and we put up our tent and we're going to get ready to go to bed. And these party people came in and they set up camp next to us and they tried making a fire. And they had a hard time getting it going. So I think one of them put some gasoline on the fire because all of a sudden the whole thing just took off. I mean, it like exploded, like psh, and flames were coming up. And then the flames started spreading. Yeah. Luckily, the ex grabbed this 50-gallon container off the back of the pickup truck and put out the fire. Yeah, so I tell everybody, you know, the night we saved Yosemite from burning down. 1970. I really loved going to John Muir's cabin while we were there. So I don't believe it was crowded back then the way it is now. And if you've been over to Yosemite, you know, in the last few years or so, and like to give us a little bit of an update on what it's like today. I mean, I know all the natural formations are still there, but, you know, is it crowded? Do you have to make a reservation? Can you still go over to John Muir's cabin? All right, we need another background. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on the back of this side. I have to use this purple glue. This is not my favorite, but I went to the Walmart today and they were all out of my favorite glue. And I needed some, so I grabbed these Walmart brand just for now. Pen and Gear, that's a Walmart brand. Where's my fave? Oh, I do have. I've got a little bit of my fave left. This is my fave, Elmer's Craft Bond. I just think the permanent holds a lot better than the washable kind. All right, let's let the backgrounds dry. And we can go over to the Fae corner and see what the fairies are up to. And even the fairies have put aside their journals for a few moments so they could work on organizing their rock collection. Okay, I put a little glue on the back of the card. Oh, and I added some of that gold washi across the page like that. And these little happy faces, they're all embossed with a little bit of gold. And I'm going to put my happy face rock down. Right there. Well, this is a really good start. I'm loving this spread. It is super fun and full of memories, but I still have a lot more to do. I have to do journaling about Half Dome and about that being granite, and I want to do a little sketch, and I want to come back and turn this into a blizzard and journal about this stone. But I did get that page done. Making progress in my rock journal. Oh, and I found a couple of very special stones out on the street, and they're sitting right over there, and they want to go in here. Oh, and along with that little bloodstone that I learned about the McGregor seal when I was doing Rob Roy. Oh, so much more to do in this journal. So I might just have some play tomorrow in this journal too. And it is getting toward the end. I have way more rocks than pages, but that's okay. I will start another journal. My happy face rock is just making me smile. Yeah. I'm going to come back tomorrow and paint his portrait. I'm going to leave this little bit of watercolor paper here on the desk as crumbs to start tomorrow's journaling with. So I just want to thank you for coming along today and keeping me company while I journal. I hope you're journaling too. Happy junk journaling. Bye-bye.